Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Saturday night, and no, it's not Saturday night, it is Friday night, and after a long week of teaching, thought it would be fun to chill and wind down, kick off the weekend with an exciting live stream for the beloved Noel ComiX YouTube channel. We've got JoJo's Bizarre Adventure playing on Pluto TV, one of my favorite things to watch. And, hey, Sinister, how the hell are you, brother? So, we got some JoJo going right here, and I'm actually, as we speak, downloading the Samurai Showdown collection on the Nintendo Switch. So, we'll see how long that takes to actually download. I also have recently downloaded the original Guilty Gear on the Nintendo Switch, and I had a burned copy of that on the PS1, but now we have a nice, stable digital copy on our Nintendo Switch. So we're, doing some good compiling of some quality fighting games. I finally have a formal schedule Monday through Thursday. That's nice, man. International channel, brother. How the hell are you? We got some JoJo on, and we are getting ready to play some fighting games. So I was just telling Mr. Sinister over here that we are in the process of downloading Samurai Showdown Collection. Konnichiwa, Diego-san. Absolutely. It's time for the main event of the evening. So I'm thinking we'd probably start off with some Garo, Mark of the Wolves, on the Xbox 360, and we'd take it from there. I'm working right now, which is not part of the schedule. All right, well, definitely keep at it, man, and I'm happy that I can make your work time a little more enjoyable, or not. Actually, I'm probably making your work time much worse. It's like, I gotta, do this job, and now I gotta listen to this madman rave over here about nonsense. Well, let's set up our camera like so. So our normal stand is kind of out of commission, but this should do just fine. Yeah. Santino sadly broke the other phone stand, but nevertheless, we got something that I think works just fine. Darkstalkers Resurrection. Ooh, Final Fight Double Impact. That would actually be pretty fun to play, but I am thinking we are going to play some Garo. We do have... I've been actually going through Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, which Santino has been really liking. Unfortunately, though, my disc is a little scuffed up on the bottom, so, what I'm going to do is buy a different copy of that. I'm pretty sure I saw a copy at Walmart for about $12. So I'd like to try to just get a new copy of Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, which I'm actually really pleasantly surprised with. Arrow, nice to see you, man. Yeah, it has been a while. Not too long, but I'm assuming you have no new console, but we'll get one or both. I'm actually kind of leaning toward the Xbox, but I don't know. I'm not really asking for it for the holidays. Just because prices for them are going to be very high. Obviously, early copies tend to be a little wonky. And quite frankly, excuse me for yawning. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure which one I want. I think the Xbox Series X looks more aesthetically pleasing. And it does seem like the Xbox Series X is really going out of its way to be accommodating toward Japanese-style video games, which are the kind of games that I really like a lot. I know that the Sony PlayStation 5 is having increasing issues, and even so, PlayStation 4 is having increasing issues where they're wanting to kind of censor a lot of games and whatnot, so... I don't know, but Final Fantasy 16 is going to be on the PlayStation, and, Xbox tends not to do very well in Japan, so I have no idea which one I want to get, but I am thinking the Japanese market is going to like the new Xbox because it's very small, it's very sleek looking, and the PlayStation 5 looks kind of clunky. So I don't know. I mean, I'm really happy with what I've got. I'm definitely thinking about, in terms of new hardware, the Sega Astro City Mini. That's probably what I'm most excited about, and I'm also very excited about the new Neo Geo arcade cabinets. Um, Xbox 360 did very well. Yeah, I mean, Xbox 360, out of all the Xbox consoles, definitely did the best in Japan. Final Fantasy 60 Online, I think it's traditional. It looks like they're trying to get back into the swords and sorcery style of it, but with the photorealistic Tetsuya Nomura style artwork. So, thus far, it looks like it's only on the PlayStation 5. I still am going through and kind of puttering around in Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I really do like. I'm just kind of at a little bit of a standstill to it. I have I have first marking period grades due, and teaching online Arrow has been really great. To kind of split the class half online, half in person. I've been doing in-person teaching. If you want my honest opinion, I actually think, the junior high is kind of due to do some home teaching right now because Cortland's numbers are starting to go up a bit. And, I don't, when Cortland's numbers start going up in terms of COVID, I always think that, what's the harm in just going home for a couple weeks, letting stuff blow over, and then kind of going back to normal. But whatever, I just do what I'm told, and I'm a good soldier. So that said, I like the fact that kids have a choice in where they get to learn. It's more relaxed and organized, at least for me and my style of teaching. So this is the happiest I've ever been teaching and the most relaxed I've ever been teaching, even though I think I'm actually working a little bit harder because I'm having to retool a lot of assignments for Google Classroom, because I'm, now putting everything online, and some of my assignments were really structured more around in-person learning rather than a hybrid of half online, half in person. But no, it's been fine. I haven't sent a kid to the office all year, and I feel pretty chill and relaxed. But yeah, I mean, I would, I mean, if I were the person making the decisions, which I'm obviously not, I would probably opt to have, do a little bit of a distance learning break. But I don't have the numbers like the people who make the big bucks do, so I'll just do whatever I'm told. So, but yeah, it's been going well. So, outside of me having grades due at the end of the weekend, and it's just a lot of grading, man. I'm just doing a lot of grading. Luckily, I can grade on my cell phone, but I don't have enough time to grade because I spend all my time making and retooling assignments for my students, and by the time I actually get to sit down and try to do some grading, I'm so exhausted I just end up falling asleep. My students do pop in here on occasion. Give everyone an F. Yeah, well, that's what Judge Mathis would call tough love, right? The quote unquote teachers who don't try, they would just give everyone an A. But but no, that's not anyone that I work with. No, I mean let's be Terry. This is basically Fatal Fury's, and this is one of SNK's answers to Street Fighter 3, and it is fantastic. Try to just tilt the camera a little bit here. B. Janet. Yeah, I don't even know, man. Sorry, just trying to fix our camera angle here. All right, here we go. All right, what was I saying? Yeah, this is a really good new generation fighting game. Looks fantastic on the Xbox 360. And as I was saying earlier, I have been playing a lot of Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe on the video game trivia for extra credit. Dude, that's actually not that different than what I actually do. I actually had our bell ringer today. What's your favorite old video game? Because we're going to be going into primary documents from Christopher Columbus. So I was like, all right, you're going to look at an old document? Let's talk about old video games. Wake up and smell the Java clown. My favorite old school video game, although all my video games are old school, right? But old school for me. Hey, Nick! Would be Donkey Kong 3. That would be my favorite 1980s arcade game, would be Donkey Kong 3. Nick, we are playing some Garo Mark of the Wolves on the Xbox 360. This was the final release for the Fatal Fury series. How do you plan on teaching Columbus? So the way that I teach Columbus is I basically give the kids the bare facts, and then I give the kids an article by the Knights of Columbus, which is insanely pro-Columbus. And then I give the kids an article by Howard Zinn, which is insanely anti-Columbus. And I just have the kids basically make up their own mind based on which article they think makes the more convincing argument. And, I mean, I always tell kids history is about weighing the positives and negatives of people. And, you know, I talk about people like Stalin or Mao, and basically how you can see good things that they do and bad things that they do. And the same thing with Columbus. And the whole point is for you to be able to weigh the positives and the negatives to make a kind of a holistic judgment call or a value judgment based on what the sum of their actions actually mean. And that's how I teach it. I think people are too negative on Columbus, although he, you know, definitely oversaw the brutalization and enslavement of natives. I do think sometimes people, it's like everything that the Spanish did to the natives, they just pin on Columbus, and I don't think that's fair. I also don't think it's fair to say, like, well, everything that's good that's happened in the Western world is because of Columbus. I mean, it's, I think you got to understand why people are upset, but also why people feel proud. And you know, it's not to say that both can't be right in their own way. But that's just kind of my take on things. But kids, by the time I get them, they're very negative on Columbus. You know, they've apparently been taught in elementary school already that Columbus is a monster, you know, so. But it's interesting, the Knights of Columbus article that I had the kids read, you know, Bartolome de las Casas was the Dominican priest that really chronicled a lot of the horrors that happened, that he saw in the New World that Columbus was in charge of. But they have some quotes from De las Casas where De las Casas is going out of his way to speak to Columbus's character, and that he doesn't really blame Columbus for what happened. So I don't know. It's interesting. But nevertheless, I do think Howard Zinn made a more thorough argument against Columbus than the Knights of Columbus made for Columbus. I say that as a Knight of Columbus. Are you guys going remote fully till January? I heard a rumor. I hope so, man. I really hope so, because I think our numbers are going up, and listen, man, I'm a teacher without tenure, so I'm not gonna go on a rant on YouTube. I like the people that I work for, and I'll do whatever I'm told, but I'm just saying, like, if I was making the decisions with the numbers going up in the direction that they are, and the fact that the junior high and the high school share a building together, and as a junior high teacher, I think it would make sense for us to go remote, especially with holidays coming up. We don't want to have to start having to quarantine people before holidays and start ruining people's holidays. Plus, the school already has proven that it can go remote. Like, so I don't really get the. I mean, I personally don't understand what the holdup would be, but again, I mean, I don't mind teaching in person, and I was telling Arrow that I really like this new style of teaching because it gives kids a choice in terms of where they want to learn. One of the biggest things with classroom management was the compulsory aspect of education that nobody wanted to be there. The kids would just rather be at home playing Fortnite, and now it's like, okay, you want to go home playing Fortnite? Go home and play Fortnite. I mean, you still have to do your schoolwork, but you don't have to be here. And now the kids actually want to be in school a lot of times. They want to see their friends. And so there's automatically a better attitude toward the kids because it's like they want to be there. And if you want to do something, you will automatically try harder on it than if you've basically got a metaphorical, weapon at the back of your head saying you have to do this or else. So, but I don't know. That's just kind of my take. It also depends on every teacher's got a different style of teaching. Some teachers like, the more group-oriented work. I'm more of a... I like to mix things up, but I think social studies and my own personal educational experiences lend itself more toward the narrative teaching style that focuses not exclusively on lecture, but is, and the thing is, not all the education literature demonizes lecturing, but I mean, to me, I don't think a good lecture is a bad thing. You just have to break it up, sometimes I lead, sometimes the kids lead, and we just mix it up with some discussion and some video breaks and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think lecture is a good thing, and it lends itself to social studies, and it lends itself to my way of learning, and I think it lends itself to this model of some of the kids being at home doing distance learning simultaneous with other kids being in person. And plus, you guys are, I think, the biggest help to me professionally because I'm used to multitasking by seeing what you guys say in the chat and then actually performing tasks in the real world, right? So my ability to teach kids at home while at the same time doing my job in the physical world, right? But being able to jump back and forth between the digital and the concrete. I honed those skills with you guys just doing these streams, which I really like. Noel, have you read any of the Galvin Menzies books suggesting that China might have discovered America? I would love to look into that. I have not heard that at all. I've not looked into those books. It sounds really interesting. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there's definitely obviously the Native Americans discovered America. You have Leif Erikson. So it's like, I don't think that anyone actually believes that Columbus was the first person to discover America. The thing is that Columbus is the first person to make America well known to Catholic European kingdoms that then created the process of Europeans migrating to America. So I always take a look at it like, someone has a big idea, right? Like, but that person doesn't do much with that idea, but then someone else comes along, has the same idea or copies that idea, and they just market it a lot better. They're going to end up getting more credit than the original person because they did more with that idea. Now, the way that Columbus did things with that idea definitely included enslaving and torturing natives. But at the same time, right, that's not all he did. His, there we go. His exploratory skill, I think, I would argue in some sense he had good intentions for, spreading Christianity, although he certainly had a funny way of looking at it when he's okay with slavery, but that's, that's not all Columbus was. He was a man, he was an explorer, he was a Christian, and that's worth noting. But the problem is how do you put your values into practice, and he definitely was lacking there, to put it mildly. And if you're from the native perspective, it was apocalyptic for you. Wish you were our history teacher, Noel. Can you teach any other subjects besides history? I have done some long-term subbing for art, and that was one of my most enjoyable jobs that I ever did. My problem with art is that I'm not certified in it, so I mean I definitely don't have the depth of range of a certified art teacher. So when I was teaching art, I actually started teaching art what was started out as a 2-week sub job that turned into a 3.5-month sub job. So maybe not 3.5 months, maybe just a full 3 months. Either way, I was feeling like I was starting to run out of material toward the end of the course, and was having to kind of reteach myself certain things that I had just kind of done briefly in college. But while I was doing, and so I'm talking about things like, more advanced Photoshop techniques and things like that. But, that was one of the most enjoyable art jobs I ever had. I got to do it. One of the things you get to do with teaching is you learn yourself. So I felt like my art really improved when I was doing that job. I got to just kind of relax and draw with the kids, and it was really nice. I mean, there's definitely some kids that were a-holes that were kind of annoying to deal with, but, when you're teaching, like, this was a high school art class, so it's basically an elective that kids want to do. Again, you're to that point where it's like, does the kid want to be there? If a kid doesn't want to be there, they're definitely going to be hard to deal with. But if a kid does want to be there, then it's, they're definitely more vested in the game, and, don't act as much like jerks because they've chosen to be there, All right. Hey, Noel, why is American education system doesn't teach a lot of slavery in the U.S. schools? I would say the American education system does teach quite a bit about slavery in terms of the U.S. experience of slavery. I mean, it's highly politicized. I mean, and it just kind of, the pendulum swings back and forth between teaching about slavery as either the South was completely evil and the North was just trying to get rid of slavery and, had progress on its side, and everything was all about slavery in terms of the Civil War. And then there's the more nuanced way to look at things, I think, where you say, like, yeah, slavery was definitely a component of things, but was not the only factor. And, and then there's also the whole issue of, what did slaves do in the South? I mean, did slaves ever side with their masters in the South? I mean, the majority of cases, obviously, no, but I think if you look at the historical sources, there are definitely some cases where that happened. But I don't know, it's definitely, and then there's the whole legacy of the South, right? Do you want to just define the South in terms of the fact that it had slavery? Or again, do you want to split the difference and say, well, there were these good things about the South and there were these bad things about the South? And just like there's good things and bad things about the Stars and Stripes, and we all split the difference between, like, saying, hey, we all believe in the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, but, maybe dropping a bunch of Agent Orange on Vietnam was, pretty despicable. The same thing can be said about, the Confederacy, you could argue. It's like, okay, slavery, your economic system was brutal and, you could say ethically indefensible or an abomination. Even if you have good slave owners, the whole principle of owning another person is bad. But, I mean, there's definitely there were good slave owners. That's just a fact. But the whole idea that, owning people is, happened, that's unacceptable, obviously. But do you just want to limit the South and flatten it to those two dimensions, There was other things in the South. People fought for their homeland. They fought for their honor. They fought for their independence, When George Washington and Thomas Jefferson were fighting for American independence, they were also fighting for slavery because they had slaves. So it's complicated. And I think, when you look at history, like with anything, like I was saying, is you got to weigh the positive and the negative, and make a judgment call on it, and just try to be as fair as possible while knowing the difference between right and wrong. Hey, Dakota, how the hell are you, man? I'm tired tonight. Gonna go to bed, pop in and say hi. Well, I'm happy you're saying hi. Did Thomas Jefferson leave out the slavery thing in the Declaration of Independence because of the Southern colonies not agreeing to it? Did Thomas Jefferson leave out the slavery thing in the Declaration of Independence? I mean, I'm off the top of my head, I don't know. I would say, based on what I know about the U.S. history of the early republic, as someone who studied it in college, and it being probably like 10:30 at night, and me being a little having my head not totally in the game. The big picture of it was the southern colonies that depended on slavery and the northern colonies that did not directly depend on slavery, but I mean there was anti-slavery sentiment in the north, but definitely there were northern colonies that were complicit in the slave economy. I think the big idea was there was white supremacy all over the place in the mainstream, and basically the southern colonies and the northern colonies just had to cooperate with each other, and cooperating and putting things that they disagreed with kind of into the distance was the thing that ended up happening. That was the goal that ended up happening. Let's just kind of put the stuff that we disagree on in the margins, even if or stuff that we that could end up being a problem. Kind of put that in the margins, and there was also the idea early on in the Republic that slavery would just kind of go away over time. There was this idea that some historians had that if you were going to abolish slavery, you'd want to do it in the early Republic before the South really started rationalizing it and it started to become intertwined with the positive aspects of Southern culture. Then it would be harder to give up. Just before I go, how's school been? First marking period of senior year is done, going by pretty quick. I am in the process of just finishing up a lot of grades. I'm just plowing through doing grades. The one thing is like the grades, they're in Google Classroom, and then you got to put them into School Tool. So I'm just plowing through the grades in Google Classroom. I mean, to answer your question, I really like school this year in terms of the teaching aspect of it. I think it's classroom management is much easier, and everything's more organized. The kids are more responsible because they have Chromebooks rather than, just these disposable pencils and papers that they just throw at each other and break maliciously. So I think I don't know, I think my day-to-day life as a teacher is much more enjoyable this year, but there's definitely more work. I feel like I don't have as much time to grade because I'm doing a lot of assignments for the first time or reworking them into Google Classroom. But other than that, I this is one of the, at least it's only the first part of the school year, but this is one of the most enjoyable school years I've ever had, if not the most enjoyable school years I've ever had. Highly recommend to watch a movie called Jefferson in Paris. You were telling me about that, and it sounds really good. It's going to be difficult going back in-person classes if ever becomes the only option. Being able to stay home has really spoiled me. I don't think it should. I would absolutely keep this option forever. I mean, this I think is one of the best things that could have happened to education. So many teachers and so many politicians complain about overcrowded classrooms. We have shown a way to be able to limit the classroom size and give students choice in terms of where they want to learn. Now, there's some kids that are, just learn better at home. There's some kids that learn better at school, and that kind of thing can get worked on. But, I mean, I think the bottom line is if a kid wants to succeed, they will choose to succeed. And if a kid wants to fail, they will choose to fail. And, I mean, the onus, the responsibility is on the kid. Actually, speaking of PlayStation 5, I think I got a commercial for it on right now on Pluto TV. So anyway, I mean, if kids choose to fail in person, kids choose to fail at home, but I definitely think the option of having home learning should never go away. I'm relatively self-disciplined when it comes to handling my own schoolwork. Absolutely hate the school environment. No, a lot of kids do, man. I got a student I can think of right now immediately that this kid was constantly over anxious, getting into trouble, did zero work. Now this kid is amazing. They're going to get an A. And it's all because home is just a more chill, less triggering environment for them. Schools can be toxic, unpleasant places. And being able to kind of just divide it up, separate some personalities that don't go well with each other. Give kids a choice in terms of where they want to learn, and lower the class size. So even if you do have a couple of knuckleheads or troublemakers or something like that, they're not dragging as many people down with them, or that it's easy. You can build a more concrete relationship with them because there's fewer kids in the class you have to worry about. I don't know. I think it's much better this way. But there's definitely will be people who disagree with me. And again, every teacher is different, every student's different, but I really like this style of learning. My only complaint is I just feel like I have less time to grade things because of all the work I'm doing, putting stuff online. I'd rather go home. I'd rather go and learn in school than and it's cool to have that option. There's definitely, but that's the thing, man. If you want to go, think of it from the perspective of a student, right? It used to be that I don't want to go to school, but I have to go to school. And so, I'm just going to be miserable being here because I don't want to be here. Now, they want to be in school, right? And if you want to do something, you're going to try harder and care more about it, as opposed to it just being compulsory, and then you end up having feelings of resentment that manifest into misbehavior. Unfortunately, not everyone maintains as progressive a view as you do. Nah, man. And it's obviously the home employment situations. It shouldn't be all one or the other, obviously. Once this whole thing blows over, once the whole COVID virus thing goes away, I definitely think we should have a mixed system like we have now, where you can either choose to learn at home, choose to learn at school, and then the teacher in the classroom just has the kids remotely in front of a Chromebook or laptop in front of them, and then everyone just kind of does the same work. So I honestly think that's the future of education, and I think it's a really good thing. But who knows what'll happen. I'm super lazy in home. But then there you go, man. Then in-person learning is more for you. But if you're someone like me or Arrow, and you feel more comfortable working at home, it's a little more chill. You like being able to wear sweats and get a hot beverage, while you're on the job. And you're just more relaxed, then go learn at home, man. And the other cool thing about this too, I think I said this before, is if a kid's not behaving themselves and they're showing they can't function in person, it's now public education, you actually can kick a kid out and mean it. You can say, hey, go home. I'll teach you from home, man. You're just not doing it. Whatever was happening here, it's not working, man. So just go home and I'll teach you from home, So it's good stuff. Diego and International Channel tend to agree. Eventually vaccines are coming out pretty soon. Pfizer apparently has one that's about 90% effective. And Trump had been saying that was coming along the way. Of course, the media hates his guts, so, they're just... It's more happy talk from dictator-in-chief, President Hate, so, next on CNN, so, it's been forecast that the vaccines are coming out, so, it's, hopefully it goes well. I honestly, I don't want anyone to die, but I gotta tell you, man, quarantine in this whole period I've been very fortunate. This is some of the most relaxed and happy I've ever been. I think the crisis has kind of led to new technologies and new solutions that I think can help public education a lot. So Cuomo said orange man bad equals vaccine bad. Yeah, Cuomo also is trying to be a tough guy. He's I hate it when these Democrats try to act tough because Trump's got this machismo persona. It's oh, I would punch that guy out. It's you know what, man? If you got to say that you're tough, you're not tough. You're that's just the truth, man. It's so I don't know. If you want to look like you're a tough guy, just be a person with a lot of resolve. And try to and get results. That's all. That's and let your actions speak louder than your words. So it's unfortunate, people. Hang on. Okay. So Diego and International Channel like learning from home and chilling at home. Or no, they don't like that. They're better in person. All right, because they're too lazy at home. It's unfortunate that it took a crisis for people to have the opportunity to be more laid back in terms of work. No, it's true, man. People invested a lot of money in brick and mortar and stuff like that, and now we've all learned that we can do stuff from home because of the internet. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to things. Critical and severe people first responders general public problem. Biden's really getting this stuff out as soon as he got president elected. The stuff was going to come out whether or not Biden was going to get elected. I mean, I definitely think this is going to get politicized. And the timing, I don't know. I don't know who it helps better, Biden or Trump, right? So it's like, it's coming out during the Trump administration. It takes a crisis, tragedy, or death to do many things, such as but you know what's sinister? You know what pisses me off, man? Is like at the start of all this, that was happening. And I mean, like, Trump is not the most skilled communicator, to put it mildly, okay? But, I mean, he had no chance to be able to, be a unifying leader or anything like that, because he was constantly under attack by the media for this entire thing, I honestly think that his political opponents did not want there to be the perception that he led the country through this thing, and they just politicized it. They tried to, antagonize him, and he's, I think, too worried about the economy, so I think he rhetorically was pushing too quickly for things to open up. And I don't know. I think he could have done some things better, but I don't think that Trump was particularly bad. And as much as I don't like Cuomo, I don't think Cuomo was particularly bad outside of putting, sick people in nursing homes and causing New York's numbers to spike by, being irresponsible with old people. In terms of the common, everyday person, though, I think Cuomo did an all right job, and I think Trump did an all right job. But that nursing home thing should be a complete scandal for Cuomo, and he's just totally skated by it. So, went to Vegas right as the pandemic was beginning. Did you win any money? Thing is, I'll talk to my doctor about the vaccine being safe, not political, healthcare person. I'll probably be asked, but it'll be based on my doctor and me. Yeah, as everything should be. Yeah, my band and I had a lot of gigs for the summer. That sucks for you guys, man. But what can you do? Well, I mean, and it just goes to show, too, man. Like, there's different, different people are affected by this in different ways based on, what they do and how their lives are. I mean, for me, as a teacher and someone with a young child, staying at home, I got to spend more time with my kids. I had to spend more time with my son, and then my kids, who I could tell were getting burnt out doing in-person learning. Once they got at home, it was much more laid back and flexible, and what I did was I made office hours through Skype. Not Skype. We weren't using Google Meets yet. We were using the other thing, Zoom. I do Zoom office hours, and the kids that wanted to stop by stopped by, and the kids that just wanted to work in private worked in private. I mean, it was very unstructured. They had the schedule was structured, but in terms of like get your work in by this date. But, the days were up to you. How do you want to budget your time? So you got 5 days to get me X amount of work. Get it to me in 5 days. I don't know. It ended up working out okay. But, I don't know. Every teacher's different. Every student's different. And it works different for different people. So, no, man, you have every right to complain. If you like playing music and you can't get any gigs because of the virus, that sucks, man. All right, so that's Garo, Mark of the Wolves. We actually did not get to the, as Santino would say, the final boss. I'm pretty sure we have gotten to the final boss in other versions of this. So, it would be a fun game to play. Maybe some Guardian Heroes. This is a good game. This is a Sega Saturn game. An update is available for this game. Okay. Blood and violence. Oh, that's nice. Santino, ooh, the final boss. I love Santino. He's just the best. The main character of this game, he looks like Gowry from the Slayers. Those are the remix graphics, I guess. What's the difference between arcade mode here? No, this is the story mode. I'll be this dude here. Playing in the background, Zombie Lone is the anime that's on in the background, and we were playing Guardian Heroes on the Xbox 360. You were right, Randy. The Sword of Legend wasn't a fairy tale. Doesn't seem all that special, though. Whoa, be careful. That's centuries old and fragile. A sword that breaks is like a dog that meows. What? Anyway, there's no proof we've even gotten the right sword yet. You know how to find out? Do you stab us some dinner? I've got legendary hunger. Royal Knights are coming. You have to go now. Excuse me, who are you? Protect that sword. There goes my evening. A little bit newer than I was expecting. There's nothing. Wait, there's this actually looks a little new. This is actually a Sega Saturn game. But I'm just playing it with the updated graphics for the Xbox 360, so it's pretty much it's like filtered to basic, and it's got that nice pencil hatching on it as well. But you actually can make this look like a more pixelated in 32-bit. This game has an amazing soundtrack. Having to make a quick exit and look cool doing it. Actually, I used to listen to the soundtrack on the bus when I was going to college. So this game, you can actually jump between planes. It's kind of got that Fatal Fury mechanic, where you have planes in 2D. And it's basically your typical hack and slash beat 'em up. Destroy. So basically this plane jumping, I'm trying to remember how it works on the Xbox. You basically have to do the left up and the left down for your triggers to jump back and forth. This game is also very fun to play with a friend. But being an only child, I definitely have fun just playing it alone. Trying to get to these barrels up here. Although that's kind of like the least of my worries. I like Eiffel 65. I haven't heard a lot of stuff from them, but I like what I've heard. Nothing we can do but wait till COVID's completely gone. Yeah, well, you know, it's never going to be completely gone, but, you know, you can definitely get a vaccine that makes it not a problem. Or not as much of a problem. I mean, it's definitely highly politicized, too. Like, the whole idea that, you know, you can go out and, you know, riot or, you know, celebrate the presidential election or whatever, and, you know, then all of a sudden it's fine, but, you know, other than, yeah, I don't know, the whole the politicization of this thing is annoying. And Trump, I mean, Trump's not to blame. You know, he has his, like, big pro wrestling rallies, which are not wise during COVID either. But, you know, though the media says that those spread COVID, but, you know, when they're celebrating Trump losing, you know, everything's fine. Chuck Schumer can go out and pop champagne in the streets with a crowd of people. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely think, yeah, COVID's very real and take it very seriously, but the fact that it's just been politicized to the point where it's like, only Republicans get COVID for going out in public when they're not supposed to is insane and stupid. That the media plays those types of games with it. This part of the game is really cool. Eiffel 65 is from Italy. I did not know Eiffel 65 was from Italy. It would make sense why they've got such a nice sound, though. COVID in New York only exists after 10 p.m. That's right. The media tends to be a stupid place sometimes. Yeah, the place sometimes with often. Whose side is he on? Yeah, no COVID in New York after 10 o'clock. He goes to sleep. And it only attacks Trump voters. Great artwork in this game. It's got that really nice 90s anime style. This is like some of my favorite music in any video game ever that's playing right now. I'm going to try to turn it up. I'm not talking only because I like this music so much. Oh, man. I'm going to drag the fight out longer. Because that song's got a bitchin' saxophone solo. There's an evil sorcerer. Beat him. Send him to hell. Dabadi, yes, Blue Dabadi Dabba. Didn't Leiji Matsumoto do a song for Eiffel 65, or am I thinking of another group that he ended up animating a music video for? But yeah, no, Eiffel 65 is cool. I mean, I don't really know much of their stuff outside of Blue, but I like that song. Let's see how Samurai Showdown is coming along here. I don't know how long I'm going to stream tonight. As much as I love talking to you guys, it's been kind of a long week, so I'm a little on the tired side. But I definitely did want to get some streaming in. I did have to do some updating to Prism just because of the fact that it was not... That was Daft Punk. You're right. Yep. Prism was doing some updating. It made it be a little later before I could get on. We might not get to Samurai Showdown tonight, considering how slowly this thing is loading, but we could play some Guilty Gear. Let's play some Guilty Gear. Soul Bad Guy and Kaikisuke right here. Pick up where I left off. Oh man, you got me in this death blow here. Destroyed. Alright. It's been a while since I played this game. I mean, it was a while since I played this game last week when I bought it. I used to know how to do all like the instant kill moves on this game, but I really don't remember. Soul as being a huge annoying person here. Ah, darn it. Language of Love. I don't really remember much about that Daft Punk stuff. Only that Leiji Matsumoto made a bunch of blue anime people for their music video. Darn it. This was a good PlayStation game. There we go. Now we're starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm here. So this game is kind of like part Street Fighter, part Samurai Showdown, part cool heavy metal and 90s anime. Interstellar 555. Did you see what I said? Let me scroll back up because I don't know. Good night, Noel. All right, yeah, man. Good night, man. Thank you for stopping by, and I'm super happy to chat with you. Have a good night's sleep, and come visit early and often. I was all pissy because I knocked him out. I think that was a perfect right there. Come on, man. That's some bullshit right there. Does Pat McAfee wrestle? I heard he's like getting some kind of thing going with one of the wrestlers. I don't remember if it was Seth Rollins or someone else. They'll probably like try to build it into a WrestleMania thing. I can't remember who the wrestler was. I want to say it was Seth Rollins. It was, if it wasn't, it was someone just like him. Man, I'm not doing well with this here. Can't get any rhythm going here. Guilty Gear obviously went on to a whole host of really well animated games. I really do like the character design on this one, though. It's very unique. There we go. And this game is extra pixelated on our beautiful big TV. Looks nice and crisp. Which I like. I like both styles of retro game look here. Gotta just be cheap here. Computer's gonna be cheap, so will I. Man. Got him, alright. Guilty Gear should have the same music as Marvel Super vs. Street Fighter. Oh, it's Adam Cole. Yeah, that's right. Adam Cole, baby. This desolate plateau is the Winter Circle. Yeah, I knew it was someone like Seth Rollins. This is Testament. This game has a really nice kind of animetal soundtrack, you know? Kind of like J-poppy, but at the same time, you got an edge to it. Man. I think I like it when, these games in their early iterations, the artwork, it looks really it looks very good, but it also has that kind of charming rough around the edges quality that, it tends to kind of go away in subsequent games, but I actually really like the kind of the energy and the spontaneity of how the art of the characters looks in this game, for like the character portraits, things like that. God darn it. Alright, one more round, guys. We gotta get them. Come on, come on. We are so close. Got him. All right. Woo. Hey, Noel, do you think CM Punk will ever return to wrestling? If the price is right. I think CM Punk's reputation is damaged because of how he performed in the UFC. So, part of professional wrestling is the illusion that you're a superhero, and if, you're getting your ass beat by, people in the UFC, that doesn't make you look good. To be fair, most people would get their ass beat by people in the UFC. So, I mean, he would definitely have to be booked in a very convincing way, where they don't let. I mean, you don't want to it look like you're overcompensating for things, but you'd have to try to book him in a way where he kind of comes in as the hero and he's just the good fighter, and the stuff that happened in the UFC doesn't define him. I don't know, he'd have to have kind of some kind of underdog quality. Well, but the thing is, CM Punk's not really, doesn't always come off as an underdog. Sometimes he just comes off as smug. All right, our Neon Genesis Evangelion final boss here. I'm getting there. I have the newer Guilty Gear on PlayStation 3, and that game kind of served as a forerunner to Dragon Ball FighterZ. Both made by Arc Systems. Come on. Slow and steady wins the race here, but, open and and stationary loses the fight. So I'm trying to block what he's doing. It's not working too well. Omega versus CM Punk. That would be an awesome match. I would be rooting for Omega. Omega's got to get the belt in AEW. I've heard chatter that they're moving toward that. The super move packs tremendous power, even if you're blocking it. But we still got a match in. Darn it. Keisuke's got a lot of that hack and slash, Samurai Showdown style fighting style with him. It's too close in, man. Oof. Wow, this thing just dropped a perfect on me there. Kenny Omega and CM Punk would be a really good match because they both kind of have that Japanese New Japan fighting style. Pretty heavy on the technical. Still got charisma. that didn't go well. Hey, Noel, do you have Blaze Blue? I do have Blaze Blue. I don't remember if I have Blaze Blue on the 3... I'm pretty sure I have Blaze Blue on the 360. And it's good. I like it a lot. Just being cheap right here. Man. I feel like launch a million of those blasts. They don't do much damage. Well, Samurai Showdown's not getting any closer. Well, a little closer. Man. I want to say the key to beating him is some kind of instant death move. But I don't remember any of Kaikisuke's. Ah, alright. Let's see what time it is here. It's been a long week. There's one thing about the Switch I don't like. It's only the Wi-Fi. What's wrong with the Wi-Fi to it? I'm not much of an online gamer, so I don't do too much with that. 11:34. We'll chat a little. Unfortunately, though, I think this is going to be like a shorter stream, just for the sheer fact that I am pretty freaking beat from teaching and whatnot. But I'll get a little candy here, so we'll just kind of shoot the breeze. No, yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about my Switch. I've been fortunate. I don't have any, either the Xbox, I have Xbox One and PS4 wired in either. Oh, yeah, no, I hear that, man. Yeah, no, for sure. All right, what do I want to do here? Oh. Got my iron from Cowboy Bebop right here. So... Noel is drunk. Yes, I wish I was drunk. I'm just tired. You know what I'm drunk on? I'm drunk on hard work. I have a Kit Kat here. I'm drunk on Kit Kats. I'm kind of annoyed is that Cortland has lost MeTV. I've got to find another way to get MeTV so I can get my Columbo fixed. They got another channel called Antenna TV that took its spot. And that is a really good channel, though. It's got the Hogan family and silver spoons, which are good things. Hey, Caleb, the PS4 limited edition. Nice. I just have a regular PS4. And, well, my PS4 came with Uncharted 4, which I really like that game. And, I have, like, the purple Fortnite Xbox One. So, yeah, good stuff. Alright. Should we play one more quick game before I turn in for the night? Yeah, why not? Oh, we're gonna get the PS5 soon. Whoa. Drunk cam. That sounds cool. Alright. So, let's see, what do we play? It's our wrap-up game for the night. Probably something still on the Switch. Keep it pretty modern. This Language of Love game I bought because it sounded interesting. It's some kind of like, I think it's some kind of text-based RPG with dating elements to it. Hopefully it's better and more realistic than that live action one we play sometime. And it's just like you trying to buy dresses for girls. Play a game we've never played. Well, give this one a shot. No, I've not played this game. I like text-based RPGs, and I thought this looked interesting. I like the anime, and I like J-pop, and I like these nerdy guy meets girl stories. Alright, this looks pretty straightforward here. Extras. Okay, got a gallery mode and... Alright, let's start the game. Sometimes I wonder if the 23-year-olds feel quite as old as I do. The other 23-year-olds. I'm only 23 and I try to reassure myself I still have my whole life ahead of me. Moved out of my tiny village and I've gone to study in a city near Tokyo so I can get in a good university. I'm going to pass my university entrance exams. I'm going to work hard, and then I've finally put my education behind me. I'm going to have a good career. I'll teach things with my life, even if it kills me. Oh, there's some nice foreshadowing. I think this is a visual novel. Good, I like visual novels, man. I have a lot to look forward to, and I've barely taken my first steps into adulthood. There's no time to get depressed now. But no matter what I tell myself, it never sucks. One thing I really like about the Switch is all of these digital novel style games. I bet there is one character that says Oni-chan. It wouldn't be a game like this if there wasn't an Oni-chan, right? This guy's going to cram school. Meaning compared to my peers at least, I think I might be the oldest in my class. Those are 18, a handful of 19-year-olds sprinkled here and there. Even my teacher, Miss Sonozaki, looks to be around 25 or 6. That's a grim thought. I'm closer to an age to my teacher than my classmates. Not that they really feel like my classmates. Cram school doesn't feel like real school either. There is a place where failures and dropouts go so they can relearn all things they should have learned back in high school. We don't cover any new material. We just rehash everything we were taught in the past, over and over again on a loop. Feels like I'm going around in circles, swallowing my tail with each step, like Ouroboros. I've only been in the city for around a week, and I'm already exhausted. Paradoxically, my days here are less packed than they were when I lived out in the countryside. Other than cram school, my days are depressingly empty until he meets Oni-chan. I remember correctly, this is about getting with a single mother. Ooh, cool. That sounds like a pretty fun game. We have a lot of practice exam papers to work through, so there's always something to study for, the final exams. Error, have you played this game? Or 18 months, or 8 months away, or 8 months or 18 months, one or the other. When I'm done with school, I'll take the train back home, and then I while my time away until the night finally falls. There are too many hours in the evening, and I just don't know how to fill them. My classmates look like they lead fun, exciting lives, but that's why they failed university entrance exams in the first round. They're too busy going to bars, karaoke parlors, or arcades, and nobody invited me to the bar or karaoke parlor or arcade. I'm too old. Perhaps I could have a painless time if I'd told a few white lies when Miss Sonozaki asked us to introduce ourselves during our first day of school, but I didn't. For some ungodly reason, I was seized to tell the truth, and I confessed my real age to my classmates. Wanted them to know right off the bat my name is Tanimari Mitsuki, yeah, like the actress, but it's not written the same way, and I'm 23 years old. But I might be a bit older than the rest of you, but I hope we can get along in the future. As if. I think I could have made a few friends if I'd kept my shameful secret under wrap, but it's too late now. Cat's already out of the bag. I mean, it's not like I look much older than everyone else. Right. My classmates don't want to associate with me. I mean, that's kind of lame, like, right? I mean, I'm like 37, and I feel like I get along with pretty much everyone. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna go go into like a dorm party or something like that, but I don't know. I think I'm still pretty just being myself, and I don't know. These people seem like a little kind of jerky too, right? It's like, who does like, oh, get away from me, old man. Haven't played this one, but I've more or less taken a brief look at it. I think the Switch gets rid of explicit content, so luckily you won't have to worry about that on the stream. Is this got explicit content? Is this a game with explicit content? Like, if is this like the PC version have explicit content? I'm 23, feel positively ancient, though I'm closer to 20 than 30. Yes, it is. This does have explicit content. Very interesting. All right, well, we picked a good game to wrap up on, apparently. How in the world... how can the world be my oyster, I ask, when I've never had an opportunity to cast my net? Now I'm afraid I'll never get the chance. So what other consoles is this on, Arrow? Is this a computer game? Console releases are always censored, but PC releases are likely to have sexual content. Have you seen the PC version of this? I saw it as I walked down the street, my hands firmly planted inside my pockets. Today was another day at cram school, and it was just as dull and uneventful as the last. I might be living in the heart of Japan now, but I feel even lonelier than I did back in Aomori. At least back in the sticks, I still had parents and my grandmother, and a few assorted aunts and uncles to talk to. I had friends, too, until they flew the coop. Still, even after they cleared off, I wasn't entirely on my own. I knew everyone who stopped by my family's old-fashioned candy store, and people used to talk to me as I counted their change. People weren't above smiling and laughing and telling jokes in Amori, even with a loser like me. It's different now. I knew the city would be different, of course, but I might even have already downloaded this one on a whim. Interesting. I'd always imagined in my naivete, or maybe you could call it optimism, that it would be different in a positive way. I never believed, not in my wildest dreams, that I'd feel so isolated while living on the fringe of the biggest city in the world. Life's full of surprises. Sadly, they're not always pleasant surprises. Mizuki. Ha! Footsteps fall against the dull gray pavement with a series of dull gray thuds. Everything's dull and gray in the rundown part of Kawasaki I call home. The high-rise buildings, which don't rise quite as high as those 23 minutes down the Tokaido line. The sidewalk, which is fringed by the curb and lined with street lamps. Even with sky, which looks grim and dark and downcast, it's utterly miserable. I wonder if it's going to rain. I sure hope not. I should hurry. Past the gates of a small playground, driven by the single-minded desire to get inside before the heavens unleash their load on my unsuspecting head, when... It's not here either. Now what could that be? Where is it? Where did it go? I can't see the speaker, but their voice sounds breathy and high-pitched. Their frantic words are choked with tears, and it's obvious they're upset. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say the voice belongs to a little kid. I mean, why else would they be in the playground? I wonder what happened. I open the low metal gate, which parts with a creak, and glance around. The playground is fairly nondescript, which, much like everything else around these parts, I can see a few swings and slides, but they're rusty with age, just like the gate. It turns out I think the erotic content for the VN story medium is a very, very small part of them. There's a lot I could say here, but I ought to keep myself PG-13. I don't know how many of your students are. I don't think any of my students are on right now. I've got to take the situation into consideration. I don't think any students are on right now. And as long as, we're all adults here. So, I'm sure if you're just, I'm sure if you're clear while being appropriate, it should be fine. So this guy's just looking at stuff. Oh, here's a little kid here. There's a young girl. This girl is crouched on the ground by the swings. Hair is short and dark, and her eyes are filled with tears. Well, that's no fun. I gotta take... I'm making a habit talking to younger kids. Someone looks vaguely familiar. I wonder why. Mama told me not to go outside. I should have listened. She hiccups, her shoulders tremble. It looks like she's crying. Is there anything I can do to help? Excuse me. Oh. Little girl jumps at my introduction. Timid though she is, she must have been sobbing so much she didn't hear the gate creaking or my footsteps approaching. Sniffling frantically, she's trying to suck her snot back in her nostrils. She lifts her head, wipes her red eyes back with her arm. Do I know you? Gee, I don't know. Do you? The girl frowns. She looks confused. I guess that wasn't the nicest greeting in the world. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Is something wrong? Yeah, something bad happened. Bad? I crouched down beside the girl, bringing our faces level. Like what exactly? It's all my fault. You won't tell Mama, will you? It depends on what your problem is. Will you tell me what's wrong, please? I can't help you if you don't know. I think that's the daughter of the love interest in this one. It looks like it's where it's going. You'll help me? I'd like to if you'd let me. The thing is, I kind of lost the key to my house. Your key? I can't get back in without it. And where do you live exactly? Over there. Girl points to a nearby apartment complex. Ah, now I understand. This must be why the girl looks so familiar. She lives in the same building I do. I must have seen her passing before, but her face never registered in my mind. Well, I doubt I'll forget her after this. So you're home by yourself? That's right. Mama left to go to the store. She told me to stay inside. She was gone for a long time, so I got hungry. I used the spare key and went to the convenience store. And then you dropped your key? Do you know when your mother will be back? Girl shakes her head forlornly. How long has she been gone? I don't know. She left around 4. It's been over an hour then. This really is a long time to leave such a little girl at home on her own. What about your dad? Don't have one. Oh, well. Talk about awkward. I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? It's not your fault. I guess you're right. Alright, and how long have you been looking for your key? I don't know, forever. Little girl stares at me earnestly, her eyes wide in a manner that suggests it really might have been forever. But knowing how kids are, I decided to err on the side of caution. Translated from child's parlance, forever equates to about 10 minutes, maybe less. It does sound like a predicament. I'll tell you what. Would you like me to help you search for the key? Would you? I can't promise I'll find it, but I'll do my best. We should be careful, though. It looks like it's going to rain soon. Right, we should start looking. Mama always says 2 heads are better than 1. Girl clasps her hands together and with a newfound determination. Her eyes are still red and puffy, but at least she stopped crying. Do I deserve some kind of trophy? Mister. Yes, what is it? I was wondering, what's your name? Mizuki. Mitsuki. That's a pretty name. I'm glad you think so. At least this girl won't make wisecracks about the actress Tanimura Mitsuki, because she's never heard of her. What's your name? Tama. It's nice to meet you. Tama, is it? I guess you have a pretty name, too. Really? Sure. It's nice to meet you, Tama. It's nice to meet you, too, Mitsuki. Hey. Tama tugs at my arm, her eyes large and imploring. Now I know your name, and you know mine. Does that make us friends? Friends, huh? Tama's a bit too young to be my friend, but it's not like I have other droves of people hammering at my door, begging for my attention. Depressing though it is, Tama's the first person I've met this week who seems interested in forming any kind of relationship with me. Well, I guess at this point, I should take whatever scraps of kindness I can get. Sure, I'll be your friend. Yay, thanks, Mitsuki. Tama beams brightly, her woe over her missing key all but forgotten, and I return her smile without thinking. There's a lot of people around Tokyo. I see them crammed on trains during my morning commute and striding through the streets as I wend my weary way back home. For some reason, they thought they never look happy. I think I read that wrong. There isn't enough happiness in the world. I'm glad that if only for a few seconds I was able to brighten this young girl's day. All it took was a few words. Now, lots of text here. Drawing very nice. Yes, it is. Wish I was a kid again. So we're just looking for this key here. So she's looking for a key. Just talking about various ways to look. Should have a keychain. It'd solve a lot of her problems. So, looks like we're just talking to this cute little girl here, trying to find our key before the rain hits. Oh, poor Tama. She misses her mama. I particularly like these cute little ponies over there. Although you get the occasional choose your own adventure prompt, it's still primarily heavily dependent on the text. I like that idea for a game. I'm pretty linear with my gameplay. Alright. Especially I hate myself for doing this, though. It is getting kind of, I'm starting to get pretty tired. So, I think we're going to have to pick the language of love up tomorrow. And actually, just looking at our clock here, this is rounding off nicely at the 90-minute mark. Normally, we do go a bit longer. And if I can get my grades done this weekend, we'll do another stream this weekend. If not, next week. if I do go remote, that can potentially give me a little bit more flexibility with my schedule. But obviously, always work comes first, though. But thank you guys for stopping by. Really appreciate your friendship, your interest in the chat, and your interest in the games I play. So we'll try to do another little bit of a longer stream in either next week or sooner, and we'll take it from there. They became imperative in deciding the good root of the story. Ah, gotcha. Good night, International Channel. Thanks for everything, man. Yeah, so I'll the second that Samurai Showdown downloads, I'll it'll probably be tomorrow because I'm pretty tired right now. But I'll play that. Let you guys take a look at it next stream. So good stuff. All right, gang. Until next time, my name is Noel. You take care. Always recycle to the extreme. And I will see you guys in the very near future. Bye-bye.